Woman who calls herself Girl Interrupted. Are them kids pulling around again? What the hell are they doing? Don't leave her here! There's crazy looking hobos! I'm sorry about that, ma'am. Alright. See, there's other human beings. I'm not the only one alive. Anyway, Miss Interrupted. I think they're trying to make a film of some sort. I don't know. Oh no, they're just tearing around like fucktards. Never mind. All right, Miss Interrupted, this one is about you. All right, it's got to be about you. It has to be. Okay. No victim left behind. I heard the way your dad talked to you about throwing away his sandwich. Welcome to my family, right? Your dad's actually a lot quieter than my mom. My dad's a lot quieter than your dad. No, he's not. No, he's not. Here's the thing about your dad's goddamn sandwich. It was in the fridge for 3 fucking days. You threw it away. It was in there for 3 fucking days. It's probably not any good. Your dad fucking being a dick about it, that fucking sucks. A lot. There's also the fact that, you know, you're not like some 20-year-old. You've been fucking traumatized through a lot. I can hear it in your voice that you barely have one. You're afraid to be angry. Me too. You know, you got a choice between getting screamed at over a fucking sandwich or ma'am, you don't want to be on the streets. You know it. You're in fucking New York. Holy shit. Holy shit. Now you, much like me, know when it's best to keep your fucking yap shut. You know when it's best to be timid. You try nicely to explain what you believe is reason. You do have the ability to reason. I heard you talking to your dad. I listened to that video. Did I listen to the whole fucking thing? No, I had a fucking panic attack and fucking puked. So yeah, whatever. Yeah, it sucks fucking listening to that shit because I know how you fucking feel. I also, and no, I don't know how you feel, but I know how that feels. How being treated like that feels. I know how it feels to me. It makes me think to myself, you know, I'm bitching because my friends are becoming fucking statistics, and this guy's bitching about a 3-day-old fucking sandwich. This lady is fucking having a nervous goddamn breakdown from the way that people around her talk to her. Guess how they talk to her? The way that I talk to you assholes. The way that I'm talked to in life. You guys notice when people are assholes to me, I go elsewhere, don't I? Well, what has that ended me up with? Nothing. When you're honest, you end up with nothing. Why am I speaking up for this lady when she's never going to speak up for me? Well, fucking Christ, even on her videos, you got to fucking plug in an external speaker and fucking super blare it to hear what the fuck she's saying. No wonder she does it in typing when she types at me. No wonder she doesn't have an actual conversation with me. I mean, fuck, you know? Now, she can't be expecting other people to fight for her rights if she ain't fighting for her own rights. But also, there's a time and place for that. She's in a subservient environment, okay? So she has to take that. She has to take the verbal abuse. Thank goodness it's only over a fucking sandwich. Hopefully he doesn't go off for 3 days about that fucking sandwich, but he might. And for all of that, she is going to be scared and barely able to function. Getting fucking streamed at like that doesn't fucking feel good. You know how I know? Because I get away from people that treat me like that. Farnsworth, I get as fucking far away from him as possible. Molly, I get as far away from her as fucking possible. My older brother, fuck, if he's screaming and shouting, no, I don't want to be near him. My older brother is probably, bar none, the largest contributor to me not liking conflict. I'm not obsessed with violence like you sick shits. Girl Interrupted is not obsessed with violence like you sick shits. Timid is the word, but you can't be timid. You can't be. If you're timid in this world, people will fucking rape you out of everything that you've got. For me, I gotta stay in a lot of shitty environments. Yes, I love Brett Roloff. No, I was not fucking happy at his place. He was fucked up on meth the whole goddamn time. Now, is this all about me? It has been so far. Speaking from my personal experience, speaking from my observations, speaking from me listening, but my take on the experience is not the same as what she's actually experiencing. I want you guys to know that I have made videos where I have berated her in a worse fucking fashion than her dad did. Was I abusive as fuck? Absolutely. Of course I consider that fucking abuse. Yes, I consider it abusive when I do it. Yes, I see it as wrong. Now I got a question for you. You got 2 sons. One of them has never been hit. But he likes the way his brother reacts when he hits his brother. You try timeouts. Of course, that doesn't work. You try sending them to bed without dinner, but you don't want to get in trouble for being a child abuser. You try making him go to his room. You try taking away his toys. But he just thinks it's the best goddamn thing in the world. He thinks it's the most entertaining thing in the fucking world. So one day that boy's gonna get fucking hit himself. And he's gonna make the fucking connection. You only need to burn yourself once to know it fucking hurts. That's all it takes. You can see fire 1,000 times, but you don't even come close to understanding the power of fire unless you've touched it. Getting all philosophical on you some bitches. I do apologize. Just so you know, when I'm talking about a sandwich, in this exact case, in the situation with Girl Interrupted, I am not talking about a metaphoric sandwich. I'm talking about literally a fucking sandwich. A 3-day-old goddamn sandwich. Now here I am being treated like I'm a horrible person for speaking up about mass quantities of fucking abuse. And her dad has got the gall to bitch about a fucking sandwich. In such a fucking potently horrible way. Where's she supposed to go, though? Out on the streets? I'm not going to guess as to what age she is. That's actually not necessary out on the streets. A pervert's a pervert. He just wants to get it wet. Y'all know ever since Natalie's death, I've been studying this shit, right? Did you know that incest pornography is the most commonly watched pornography in the United States? Quite a fucking statistic. And no, I'm not making any accusations towards her or her father on that fucking grounds. It's not my place. This is a much different situation between her and her family than it is between mine. But, of course, the anxiety, the being afraid to speak, the having a meek voice, the you're not allowed to stand up for yourself. And whenever they need a punching bag, you're the punching bag. And that's just how it is. You try to do something decent. You try to clean the fridge and you're getting fucking shat on about a sandwich. It's not like you did it to be mean to the guy. It's not like you went, hey, that sandwich is brand fucking new. I'm going to eat it. When people say narcissist, you know, that's actually not narcissistic. There's a different word for it. Maybe one of you will look it up. But I can't remember it. Narcissists try to make you feel like you're crazy. Now, what she had to go through, yes, narcissism is part of it. Now, she can't stand up to her dad. This is a situation where it's what he's learned and he's decided he's going to be set in his ways. Like a Southern racist. Decided he going to be set in his ways. Now, she don't deserve that kind of abuse, but also, does she have enough to live on? Does she have enough to live on in New York? Where the fuck did I put my goddamn lighter? For stopping her abuse, she does need help. But also, she needs to not fucking mumble. Stop fucking mumbling. People don't understand you when you are mumbling. I'm not saying that to be an asshole. I mumble. There are many times where I have to stop and try to speak like this to my YouTube channel, specifically because I mumble. I speak too quietly for a lot of people, oddly enough. So they don't understand every word that comes out of my mouth. So some people, they'll nod along. They heard one or two words out of a sentence, and they kind of can piece it together into what they think you said and kind of sort of carry on a conversation. Some people don't hear shit you said. I, Sean David Schwartz, am a hypocrite. And rightly so. You tell me these things are not wrong to do to me when I try to turn them in. You tell me that they're not illegal to do to me when I try to turn them in. You tell me about all these jurisdictional issues that exist when I try to turn it in. But all that goes right out the window when it's the other way around. And that's how it is in any subservient environment. When you have to rely on somebody who is lucky enough to be able to live in a time where they could actually afford to buy a house, have it be their house, and not have to be dependent on living in the parents' house. Average American lives with his parents till he's 29. Did you know that? The average American lives with their parents until they're 29. The average Sean Schwartz moved out of his mommy's house at 16. The average Sean Schwartz was trying to finish high school while homeless. Yeah, I'm a different feller. I'm a hypocrite because fire burns. People are starting to feel that now. Fire burns. I said if anything happened to Zyler, Eric, or Natalie, that I would burn the whole world to the ground. Then Natalie got shot in the head. Well, this is all about me, isn't it? Of course it is. Why the fuck would I speak up for another human being? That's not American. Out of hypocrisy. So now I'm gonna mumble a little bit, and I'm gonna put a cigarette in my mouth so I can make sure that it sounds like a mumble and a good and proper mumble. And I'm going to tell you that it is very difficult to understand someone who mumbles. It's not a matter of disrespect or hatred. So, that being said, is it Girl Interrupted's fault that she's taking the abuse because she's a mumbler? No, that's fucking long-term abuse. You learn you're not allowed to have a voice. You're not allowed to speak. The only place that you're allowed to speak is on fucking Facebook or YouTube. And she does. She tries to self-advocate. Self-advocating doesn't work. However, There's a video on self-advocating, several of them actually. It is important to learn to self-advocate. It doesn't work. So if you're going to say it doesn't work, you're absolutely right. Everybody's going to talk over you. You're a mumbler. They see you as weak. They see you as infantile. They see you as easy to manipulate and easy to intimidate, and you are. Now, if I make a nice video like this and explain to you as nicely as I can, you need to speak up. Actually speak up. And I'm going to give you a piece of advice. Of course, that's what all of this is, isn't it? Me trying to force my advice onto you. You know, sometimes when I'm really feeling shitty and I really need to say something, and I need to say it with some power behind it. It's going to sound crazy to you. There's a movie called Cool Runnings. It's about the first Jamaican bobsled team. So I look myself in my rear view mirror and I tell myself, I see pride. I see power. I see a badass mother who don't take no crap off of nobody. And I don't usually say it out loud. I say it internally because it's funny. Not because that's the way that I think, but because I just thought it was fucking funny. So that gives me a little bit more to get on with it. Sometimes I gotta remind myself I need to be angry. And I remember what happened to Brian Gray. I remember what happened to Benjamin Harvey. I remember what happened to Natalie Bollinger. I remember what happened to Christine Bouhit. I remember what happened to Daniel Kitlitz. And I remember why I'm fighting. I'm fighting so that you guys don't become those statistics. See, all of my advice is useless here. In this space, right here on my YouTube channel, I should be apportioning this for her. This should be about her and her details. Now, why am I not posting up those details? I haven't watched enough videos. Now, she's watched enough of mine to be able to speak up a lot. She can make a very, very big difference all the way from New York. That's literally the other end of the country. We might be on the same parallel, actually. I'm going to have to take a look at that. I think New York is actually a little bit lower, but I think it's pretty close to the same parallel. That's the horizontal line, kind of like the equator. That's one of the parallels. Then there's, of course, the horizontal ones that go from one pole to the other. If you look at a globe, that's the way that it's sectioned. My advice is to use your voice for others. A lot of times I'm afraid to say what it is that I need to say because the words aren't going to come out right. I'm afraid to speak because well, I'm a buck 50, soaking wet or less most of the time. I'm not a big person. I'm pretty meek myself in real life. I like being good to people. Now, the way that I was in Boulder before Natalie was killed, well, it didn't all start with Natalie being killed, did it? No. It also didn't start with Virginia. It started off with helping a friend who was selfish, cared about drugs and chasing vagina, and playing video games until 4 o'clock in the morning in a place where he's not supposed to be, with the music ghetto blasting as loud as it can go and all the lights on. So I got kicked out of my shop. I worked a lot of years to finally have myself a shop. To have a machine shop so I could make things to make the world a better place. I can make all sorts of stuff, I just need a place to do it and the time to do it. With my disabilities, there's a lot of stuff that I'm not able to do. Now, I listened to Miss Interrupted, and she talks about how disrespectful people are to her. When I made a video to fucking chew her out, I made sure it was a mean one. There's a difference between typing pretty shit on my timeline or typing pretty shit in the comments and actually speaking up for another human being. Also, I'm not going to pretend that I go checking her site every day. If she disappeared for a month because she ended up dead, I probably wouldn't even know it. But also, I asked her to go away. I asked her to stop getting on my channel because she's not going to speak up for me. She's not going to do anything useful. I also noticed that she's got a lot less subscribers than me and she still speaks up. See, I only got the number of subscribers that I got because there's so many people that hate me, actually. A lot of people subscribed because they hated me. They subscribed because they wanted to get on and harass me. They wanted to get on and bully me, like my older brother likes to do, Eric Christopher Schwartz. Your dad ain't got shit on Eric Christopher Schwartz. See, there I go, being an asshole. Now, I hope you understand the technique. Yes, it's absolutely fucking manipulation. It's absolutely making sure that you know exactly how I feel. Now, depending on who it is, I might have to do it a different way. Different people have different motivations. If there's somebody motivated by sex and they do something fucked up, it's easy to remind them kindly that the only sex that they're going to get in prison is another man's cock shoved up their ass. Some people are motivated by money. Of course, when the money's gone, so are they. Now, Girl Interrupted, here's the fanciful thing in my head versus reality. The fanciful thing in my head is, if I was able to wish myself there, I'd give her a hug and I'd make sure she's safe. A lot of people had that sentiments. The reality of it is, I can do a lot from the phone and I can do a lot from my YouTube channel. And before that, you know what I did? Instead of just being fanciful about not having a transporter to ship me from place to place like on Star Trek, I drove. I drove there. When Miss Jerry needed a rescue, I drove there. When Lana and Amanda needed a rescue, I drove there. When Jamie needed a rescue, I drove there. When Brandon needed a rescue, I drove there. Both Brandons, matter of fact. I drove there. When my sister disappeared, I drove there. When Sam Wilkins was sad and lonely and alone, I walked from one side of Denver to the other to go see him. When Bo Prince kept on telling me to come and see him in Highlands Ranch, that's right, Richie Rich neighborhood, I walked all the way there from Aurora. When Jessica Martindale graduated, I started the trip 3 days early so I could make sure I'd be there a day or two early. Figured I'd try hitchhiking. Instead, I walked most of the way from... Well, that ain't true. I caught a ride. I was just at the... It wasn't a bus station, it was a truck stop, actually. I got ripped off by this fucking kid, ripped me off for like $1.80. I'm pretty sure it was a fucking BB gun, but I didn't care. It was like $1.80. It wasn't gonna get me shit. I'm still talking about myself here. We're not focusing on the sandwich or how incredibly fucking stupid that was. See, it's kind of difficult to speak for somebody when you don't have any details. It's kind of difficult to speak for somebody when you don't spend the time. And I don't spend the time. I don't spend the time to get on and watch her videos. I'll admit it. Listening to some of her videos, it hits too close to home and it fucking hurts me to my core. But I'm glad she does it. I'm glad she speaks up, at least for herself. The thing is, the loudness of your voice isn't what makes it mighty. It's what you do with it. Are you fighting for the rights of others, or are you being entirely self-serving? Yeah, this is a pretty mean video, isn't it? Of course it is, but you notice I said things nicely? And although I went off topic at least 4 times, in a very major way, I did try to explain why, and the purpose, and the intent. For 6 years, a lot of people claimed that they would speak up for me, claimed that they would help me if they could. They all could. They all actually could. She's got a YouTube channel. She can speak up for me, and she can speak up for others. Doesn't necessarily have to be me. However, here's the thing about being my friend. I don't ask you guys to do anything that I wouldn't do. Matter of fact, I ask you not to do several of the things I am willing to do. I'm willing to harass my stalkers. And when people threaten my life and my family's lives, well, I'm willing to reciprocate that if it becomes absolutely necessary. See, that's the thing, is you guys wanted to make any excuse for my predators to do anything they wanted to me, en masse, in groups. But then if I do it out of desperation, not even the horrible things that they did, I had to pretend to be a bad guy just to get fucking heard. I'm not speaking up on my channel for your entertainment, Girl Interrupted. I'm speaking up on my channel for all of the victims who don't have a voice. You have a voice, you're just not using it right. How do you like that one there? That's a good insult as well. That's you're not doing things properly. You're not doing it how I want you to do it. It doesn't feel good to get treated like that. When Girl Interrupted talks about the way that people treat her, she also has recordings of the way they treat her and talk to her. When I listen to those videos, and I do, I can hear the other person fucking screaming at him at the other end. I heard the video about the fucking sandwich where her dad was being a dick. And I listened to about 5 or 6 minutes of the video that she just posted, but I had to stop listening to it. It was annoying me that I couldn't hardly hear the words she said. Now, sometimes I make videos to address people in specific. Telling you what I'd do if I were me, you can see what I'd do. But imagine if we could do it a better way, a safer way. A way that doesn't make us more vulnerable and put us in a more at-risk situation where we have to trust people who've shown themselves not to be trustworthy. I'm almost tired enough to go to sleep, so I'm going to end the video. Good night.